Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Let me change the title because it wouldn't let me. It wouldn't let me do it. So let me change the title. Aries Daily Energy Reading. And I'll just put emotionally unavailable. Available. Okay, that's how you spell it. Mostly unavailable people. Right. And excuse me, get coffee. The date is, what's the date? The 20th. 25. I was going to put 24. All right. I was wondering if YouTube canceled my title. I mean, they canceled my live because of the title. I don't know. Good morning. Look at this. Y'all gonna laugh at me. I ordered this ski jacket after it snowed here in New Orleans. I was like it's never gonna snow here again. But here we are with the cold is back like it's never been before with a vengeance. We had a fake spring, and I didn't believe the weather people. They were like, oh, we have a nutria rat. Like some people have was it the groundhog? We have a nutria rat, and they're like, oh, it's going to be 6 more weeks of winter, but we're going to have a fake spring. And I was like, yeah, right. It's not going to get hot in New Orleans and then get cold again. It just doesn't do that. It just we have a little bitty tiny winter, and then it gets hot. Absolutely. If we had precipitation right now, it would probably snow again. That's how cold it is. That's what they're saying. So I guess I did right to order me a ski jacket. Red is one of my favorite colors, but I don't know why I didn't order it in purple, because that's my other favorite color. And I could have worn it for Mardi Gras, since we're going to have a cold Mardi Gras, which sucks. But I mean, that's usually an every other year type of thing. Although we got lucky for like the last 2 years. I think it was maybe even 3 years. We had pretty decent Mardi Gras. And this year we're going to have a cold one. So I wish I would have ordered this jacket in purple. How are you guys doing today? The mini readings are completed besides 2. One person sent me their questions after I was done, and I have to revise something for someone else. So that went well. I'm going to just do this real quick, pull from the Abundance Oracle today. I was seeing a lot of people ask for money financial readings, even though I already did one for the week. Oof, my mama gave me some sideburns. Lord, can't wait to get my hair done tomorrow. Shout out to my hairdresser. She's in the chat. Please respond to me. Respond to me. A girl needs a silk press and a touch-up, a root color, okay? Touch up my color. All right, so let's take a look. This is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. I'm going to start with this is the Abundance Oracle. Still drinking tea. Freezing in Los Angeles. Is that normal? Does it usually get cold like that over there? Good morning, everyone. All right. Stop right here. Holy Spirit, spirits, and angels. Message here. Wow. Yeah, the weather is crazy. Like, this is literally some biblical stuff that's going on here, huh? With everything happening. So the Oracle card you got today is Face Your Financial Fears. This is a big one. Face your financial fears. Creasy Renette, I hope I'm saying that right. Yeah, I have family in Virginia. I saw that. It says when you are honest with yourself about fears of success or failure, they can no longer control you. That's a big one. That's so true. Be free of hidden fears by exposing them to the light of awareness, and you'll realize that you, in fact, have nothing to fear, and that every successful person has struggled with and released these self-doubts. I try to preach all the time. I preach it until I'm blue in the face. Do not fear anything. But I'm going to say it this way. If people believe, and I feel like Christians more than anything, and I might offend some people, I feel like some Christians believe in the devil more than they believe in God. Because every time you hear something go wrong, oh, it was the devil, it was the devil, it was the devil. They give the devil so much power. And I'm going to tell you what is the devil. If there is ever a thing that is the devil, it is fear. If you are so terrified of the devil, you would stop fearing anything, because that is what if there was ever an equivalent to the devil, it is fear. Fear, because it stops you from living your God-given potential that you have. And honestly, truthfully, when you croak, when you die, you're going to look back and be like, oh my gosh, there was nothing to fear at all. I was being tricked the whole time. And that is the scheme and the plot of the devil. To trick you, to steal, right? To steal, kill, and destroy. We've heard that before, to steal, kill, and destroy. So if you have this wonderful, beautiful idea, and then all of a sudden, I'm too scared to try it, that's the devil. Because what are you afraid of? Failure? Okay, you fail. And what is failure? Failure is just learning that the next time I just do this differently. That's it. That's it. It's like creating a blueprint for the next time. Yes, ma'am, I got you. What do you need? What doing next Thursday? Okay, good. Hair appointment. Great. That's it. That's it. And we are literally being conditioned. We are literally being impressed upon to fear failure. Why? I think a big reason is because so many people have this ego-centric attitude, or this ego is centered more than God. So, oh my God, look at that person, they failed, right? Those are usually the people who are never really trying anything. Those are the people who are never really stepping out of their comfort zone. So what does it matter anyway what they say? You understand? What does it matter what they say if they're not even stepping out of their comfort zone and doing anything thrilling? If you're not doing anything that makes you alive, you're dying. So why would you want to be like them who are dying by pointing the finger at someone else? So if you ever want to say something is the devil, it is fear is the devil, because it will stop you from living your fullest and greatest potential. If you hear a lot of millionaires and billionaires do interviews. Sorry, guys, I have ADHD. I'd be remembering things that mid-sentence. A lot of millionaires and billionaires have interviews. They always say failure is what got them to their success, right? That's one thing. Another thing they'll say is that if they lose it all, they'll get it back tomorrow. You know what a big proponent of that is that when they all say, if I lost it all, I'll get it back tomorrow, they don't fear losing it. See, what happens is if you fear losing things, a lot of people will lose something and then say, fuck, I lost it, and now I'm a failure. And now I'm going to sit in this failure. And now I'm going to dwell in this failure because I'm embarrassed that I lost it all. And now I'm going to make this failure my identity. You understand? And now I'm going to continue to live in it. And now I'm just going to put a sticker on my back and my forehead that says I'm a failure. Not a millionaire or billionaire. They say, okay, this didn't work, next, right? And that's how it should be with everything. That's how it should be with everything, right? There should be no fear in anything that you're doing. All right. So that comes to my next thing that I want to actually talk about today. Let's take a look at the daily energy first. See here, this is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. Look at that. King of Pentacles, the Temperance. We have the Seven of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. King of Pentacles could be someone who is very, very well off business-wise, okay? Business, finances, they have it in order. They usually were. Anytime you reach the King of Pentacles energy, it's because you practice the law of giving and receiving. You don't make it to the top without giving. I mean, that's just period, right? You have to have that reciprocity, right? So there's someone here who could have a great business idea, who could, and I would say this, right? A good business idea, King of Pentacles, something that is worth investing in, or they have this, they're destined for some sort of financial success, right? But the Temperance says there's something that before you reach there, there's something that you have to take a stock in. There's something that you have to evaluate. You have to look at, right? So take your time, because Temperance represents balance. Excuse me, I'm still fighting this cough. And patience and transmutation, transmuting energy. Okay, the good, the bad, the ugly. The Knight of Pentacles is right before that King of Pentacles energy. You are building up to it. It may be a slow growth and slow movement, but you know you have the right idea. You know you have the right materials. You know you're taking care of that seed that you've planted, and it is growing, and you're seeing it sprout up, right? The Seven of Wands here is representing the fighting back of those fears. These are all of the naysayers. These are all of the obstacles. These are all of the new things that you're going to try to get to the King of Pentacles that you may fail at. But if you stay planted firmly like the Seven of Wands, you will eventually win. You'll eventually succeed. You'll eventually wave your flag and say, I got here. Now what's next? Because there's always going to be something next. Even if you accomplish your goals, remember that while we're here on earth, you're never going to be done. You're never done. You're never done. All right. People set goals to keep setting goals because you're just never done. So don't feel like, oh, I didn't accomplish it. You're always going to be accomplishing things, failing at things. But remember this, you're never going to be done. Okay. You're always learning. You're always reaching new heights in some capacity, which is why you keep going. You just keep going. So Aries, the message today is there's something in your life here that you may need to face. Maybe you need to call a bill collector. Maybe you need to let something go. Maybe you need to say, I can't do this right now. Or maybe you need to say, I'm going to take this money and invest in this. Even though it scares me, there's a potential that I can win. And even if I don't win the first time, I can learn what I did wrong and do it again and come out with better odds. Okay. So that is the energy today of facing your financial fears. Now, what's really plaguing me, and I wanted to have an open discussion about this, is let me come up for air. I wrote this in my notebook because I be studying people. When I do readings and stuff, I study you guys. I study everybody, right? Not just y'all, everybody. What is it? And I want to hear your guys' perspective on this. Why do we hold on to emotionally unavailable people? And this is dialogue. So anybody can go ahead and just let me know. I'm going to read your answer because I just want to know. I want to hear out of people's experiences. I've experienced it, and I'll tell you my take on it. Why? But elaborate on that, Big Ange. What, Big Angie? What? Elaborate on that. We're broken. What does that mean? Good morning, everyone. Rich Rising. I'm looking at everybody here. Angela Sunshine, Stacy, Veronica, Iris. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Anybody? Typically, people want what they can't have. Why is that? Isn't that interesting? Why do we want what we can't have when we can have what we can have? Because I'm not going to tell myself I can't have a healthy relationship, because I'm going to have it, because what we think we can be, what we think we can be. That's a good one. We think we are the problem. And if we think we are the problem, and if they change, we're better. I would agree with that. Maybe most people, though, subconsciously. I don't think anybody would think that they're the real problem consciously or admit it. But if you do, that's a great first step. I was way too available. That's good. Yeah. 10 degrees in Dallas, stay warm. Oof, awful. Broken people create broken homes. What does that mean, though? What does being broken mean? That's what I'm asking. I feel like personally there's something in me that wants this person to love me, so I can feel the validation from getting a person that doesn't love easily to love me. Yikes. I'm in therapy currently and fix this shit because fix it, Jesus. And I'm not just saying yikes to you, Big Angie, but I'm saying yikes because you hit the nail on the head. That's it, you know, that's it. It's, I mean, if you want to go back to the core of it, it's a cycle, right? A lot of us come from parents who were emotionally unavailable. That's where it started because their parents were emotionally unavailable. And because their parents were emotionally unavailable, and each generation had different reasons of being emotionally unavailable. We can go all the way back to slavery. Okay. There, I mean, if you want to go back to slavery, my people were taking care of other people's children while their children are in the yard, you know, serving, right? And then we keep going. Every generation, there's another reason, right? Um, but and so, and then the focus is never really on, I think this generation is just starting to focus on children. I know that sounds weird and crazy, but if you've noticed, we just like the last two like generations are just starting to really get into therapy and what is the cause of the root issue, and um, that it begins with children, which is why we protect our children at all costs. But society has pulled us away that we have to make money. We have to make money. We have to be successful. Yes, we do these things with our children. We take them there, we spoil them there, but we got to make money. We got to make. And the thing of the fact of the matter is our children are on the back burner. We are, I mean, my mom was in the military, very, very decorated, and came home stressed out and cussing every day for a long time until we had to make her recognize, like, you are consumed by your job, you know, and we get the short end of the stick. And so therefore there was no emotions to be available, but frustration. If you want to really take it back that far, right? Because that's where it stems from. Obviously, we all have an obligation to grow up and heal ourselves, but we only have half collective doing that, and the other half are still using and abusing. But in a relationship sense, and I would just want to say that's probably the root of it, is that from childhood, we were fighting for acceptance, approval, when it should have been freely given and not based off of merit, but just love. So therefore, now we have a generation of codependency where it's like, if I'm better than her, you'll love me more, which is not true. If I do more for you, then you'll accept me and I'll be the winner, which is not true. And you'll probably get used and maybe you may get picked, but not for the reason that you think you're getting picked. You're getting picked probably because you're beneficial in some way. And that goes to another conversation of, do people even really get married for love anymore? But that's a whole nother conversation. I see this when I do readings for people. I do a lot of readings and I get it. We all been there, right? You're in a relationship with somebody, you're very much wound up and connected to them, and you love them and you want to see if they're going to come back. But the way I feel about it and what I've learned is that if someone is for you and they recognize your worth, this is the big part. If they recognize your worth, they are going to do what it takes to make sure that the relationship works. And then sometimes it's a flop. You're just incompatible. But I see a lot of healthy relationships. So this is why I'm speaking on this, where there is a man that says, this woman, I know this woman adds value to my life, and vice versa. And I'm going to not just please this person by doing things that they like, I'm also going to work at the relationship, have the tough conversations, not run away, not gaslight, not deflect, not ghost. There are people out there who really will work at being in a relationship. But what I'm seeing is people chase and fight tooth and nail to keep people who either one want to be chased. Okay, that's a huge red flag. We're not chasing anybody. There are just people out there who want to be chased to validate their ego. Again, codependency, right? And then there are just people who just don't give a fuck. Like there are some people who have that mindset of, I can have this one, I can have this one, I can have this one, I can have this one. Why? Because they're emotionally unavailable. They're not really making emotional connections with anybody. They're just fucking people. Okay. And equating that sexual energy to love in some way. And you feel like you're giving, okay, I'm giving this, I'm giving that, I'm giving that. Why are they? They're never going to be available emotionally. And so that's the catch. The thing is, the people, when you chase the people who are emotionally unavailable, they're never going to just be like, okay, oh my gosh, Aries is giving me much love. Let me just open my heart now and be available to this person who's giving me all this love. For me, I'm not keeping nobody that doesn't want to be kept, period. Rocky Mount, I think part of us believes that if we can make that person be emotionally available for us, it will complete for us or love us, it will complete us in some way. And that goes to the point of, why are we going into relationships not complete and whole? Why are we not complete? This is why when we, when we're dating and we go through breakups, this is why you have to take time to be single. And for the people who've been single for years, if you are single, are you really filling yourself up with love? We all have those weak moments where we're vulnerable. Maybe we're lonely, maybe we wish you had companionship, but when you're really doing the work, those come far few in between, right? Because you're not getting cheated on, you're not getting lied to. And the one thing that I see, and I think that is so dangerous for me in being single, is that once I got happy single, okay, because it was a process. Once I got happy single and happy with myself and love myself, love my body, love who I am as a person, because I had to rebuild all these things. Mind you, I started this channel from a codependent relationship myself, right? Therapy and everything like that. So it is work. You have to put in the work to, first of all, learn who you are, because a lot of times when you're in codependent relationships, not even romantic, even from your parents, you have to learn who you are, not who you were told you were. You understand? When we are in relationships with narcissistic parents and lovers, they tell us that we are something, and we kind of like, oh my God, then I must be it. Why? Because we're craving love and affection from that person who doesn't even love themselves. So we believe what they're telling about us. So the first step when you're single is that you have to learn who you are. Who am I? Am I this? Am I that? Do I like this? Or should I change this? It's all up to you. Because at the end of the day, once you figure out who you are, you fall in love with that person, you will align to someone who will love you just the way you are. Body weight, aesthetic, goals, pattern, hobbies. You will find somebody who loves you just the way you are. You don't have to change anything when you are fully and completely in love with yourself. Why? Because it has nothing to do with anything else, but the love that is emanating from your heart will attract somebody else who is loving themselves fully and completely. When two whole people get together, that is magic, right? That is magic. But when two broken people get together, it's always a constant tug of war, right? And we do beauty things and we work out. We do it for ourselves, and that should be the only reason why you do it. Of course, you want to look attractive and things like that, but it's never to get a person. Some of the best looking people aesthetically are the most broken and the most wounded. Okay. So it has nothing to do with any of that. Work on your inner self. I just wanted to ask that because like I said, I see so many people ask about, well, is this person coming back? It should never be. It should never be if they're coming back, if they left. It should be, Chelsea, what type of padlock do I need on the door to make sure that their key doesn't work? Or what do I need to put on my door to make sure that they can't get through it again? Because if somebody leaves, it means that, one, they didn't recognize your worth. You were disposable. Okay. You were interchangeable. You were an option. All of those things are true. Okay. There's certain situations, maybe they're in a coma for 6 months. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But we cross that bridge when we get there. Rarely is that the case. If you even see people who lose people. Now, everybody grieves differently. I'm not one. If I'm not in a relationship and I'm going through grief, I'm not going to date. Okay. I'm not going to date. I've done it once, not going to date because people take advantage. That is a sure way to attract a narcissist. People feed off of narcissism, feeds off of weakness. I fell in that trap before. So you don't date while you're grieving or you're in your healing energy at all. But if you're already in a relationship, right, and something happens, somebody dies, usually if that person loves you, we'll just say that. If that person loves you, they're not going anywhere. They're going to work through it with you. Now, there are some cases, right? People lose children and things like that. There are some cases where you drift apart, and that's that. But what I'm saying is to chase someone is never an okay thing, you know? And we talk about it for women to chase men, but even men, right? If you don't need to, obviously the man is the one who is going to be the more action oriented person, right? But if you can tell if a woman is making you jump through hoops or she just setting boundaries, there's a difference. And even a man shouldn't be subjected to that. Okay. Because I do readings for men too. And some of these women are scandalous. Okay. And I will tell you. So, it's all about self-love. That's why I know people get tired of hearing that preached, but when you know what true self-love is, you will understand why it is so important for you being in a healthy relationship. Not just being alone, but being in a healthy relationship. If you love yourself fully and completely, you will have boundaries in place, and the people who love you and have their own boundaries in place will respect yours. And then boom, you got something beautiful there. But it's only the people that when you have boundaries in place and they say, fuck that, I'm gone. Let them go. Let them go. Because if your boundary starts slipping and they get through that, you're going to get hurt. Okay. You're going to get hurt and you're going to be coming to me. And then I'm going to have to be straight up with you. I'm an Aries. I'm very blunt. I am not going to sugarcoat it. I am going to tell you in the reading if that man is cheating on you, if he's not coming back. You understand? If he got another family, I'm going to tell you. And sometimes I have to deliver those hard messages. It's like, okay, but why do you want to know if they're coming back if they left? Okay. So you could do the same thing over again because that's what's going to happen. We got to start breaking our own cycles. We have to start breaking our own cycles because when we break our own cycles, it is not just for us, it is for the generations after us. And right now we live in a very toxic generation and world, right? And our children are learning this and they're picking this up and they're thinking it's cute and it's not, right? Somewhere, someplace it has to stop. It has to stop with us. But I just wanted to kind of just put that out there because I do a lot of readings like that. And sometimes I'll just be writing it down. I'm like, let me go ahead and bring this to the collective. I promise you, for the people who have struggled or learning what boundaries are, it's like a recalibration. It's like a recalibration because we have frequencies and we have energy. You have been attracting the same type of person for a long time. So you're going to go through a moment where your magnetic heart is recalibrating. And so it may look maybe a long time for a little while. Maybe a few busters get through the threshold. But if you keep those boundaries up, you will eventually recalibrate and you will start attracting differently. You just have to go through that moment because that recalibration period is difficult. You're still trying to find your north. But if you say, this is not getting through anymore, these type of people are not getting through anymore, you will eventually align to the people who are going to respect your boundaries, who are not going to play games, who are not going to make you chase them, who are going to say what they mean and mean what they say, who is going to put equal amount of effort, okay? And I'll say equal because man should be putting just a little bit. You might be mad when I say this, men, but you should be putting a little bit more effort in than the woman, okay? If you want to have a healthy dynamic, you should be. If you're in your masculine energy, you should be putting a little bit more effort, just a little bit, maybe about 15% more, okay? Not saying she shouldn't be doing anything for you, but I'm saying is in the beginning, in that courting stages, you shouldn't have no woman chasing you and calling you. If you don't like her, keep it moving, right? All right, so that's it. That's it. I got to go work out. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. I'll be back on later with a reading. All right, and you guys have a great day. All right, bye-bye.